Well, the question is basically Trump not polling well in the latest survey at 41% approval rating, but he got these big wins in Ohio and Indiana. So do you think they're underestimating the power of President Trump?
Oh, absolutely. The media always underestimates the power of President Trump. And as you can see in Indiana, where literally 75% of the incumbents lost because specifically the main issue was that they refused to support a redistricting where the Supreme Court allows the elimination of race-based districts. I mean, this is putting Americans last here. And President Trump is driving the America First agenda. And I think folks need to get on board. I fully support President Trump in this, and the Democrats have been using this tactic for years, and they've been winning. And the Supreme Court finally has set the rules straight and leveled the playing field. So now it's time that the Republicans get on board and we redistrict across the nation according to the rules of the Supreme Court.
Well, speaking of which, I want to share a graphic of your neck in the woods revealing a potentially seismic shift in congressional maps in the Southeast without Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. Your state of Georgia and the 7 other states in the region could become a sea of red districts. Where do you stand? And I think I already know the answer, but where do you stand, Congressman, on these proposed changes?
I think it's necessary to do that, because if you look at the Declaration of Independence, all right, where it says all men are created equal. Well, when you create districts specifically for one race or against another race, that's not equal. I'm sorry, but this country is about equal opportunity for everybody. So we need to be able to exercise those rights and not be disenfranchised by a map drawn by a Voting Rights Act that truly is not constitutional.
Congressman, what effect might this have on your current district?
I've got the most conservative district in all of Georgia, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud to fight to take North Georgia's values to Washington, D.C. But what it would probably mean is that we would lose a little bit of red out of my district, in order to bring all of Georgia into the red, and that's okay. That's all right to do that. Because it's so important that we maintain majority in the House of Representatives. If we don't, then President Trump would be impeached time and time again. We saw that the last time the Democrats took control of the House. And literally, they would destroy this country because they do not have any intention of securing our borders. They want illegal aliens before American citizens, and that is just wrong, and that will damage our country.
Congressman, I'm really curious for your thoughts on one of your colleagues across the aisle, Democratic Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, who refused to follow up on a request from a Minnesota committee investigating her purported ties to the massive fraud scandal in the state. Omar's refusal led to a subpoena vote, which somehow failed to pass. State Representative Kristen Robbins pointed the finger of blame at Omar's party during an appearance today on Newsmax Cable's National Report. Here's what she said.
All the Democrats on the committee voted to not subpoena Representative Omar and get us the documents. So they are turning a blind eye, as has been the pattern by Minnesota Democrats for the last 10 years or longer.
So, Congressman, what's next in the investigation against Omar? And if the fraud allegations are proven true, do you think she might get kicked out of Congress?
Well, I don't think it's just fraud that needs investigation. I mean, she has a history of doing things in a very problematic way. I mean, just look at her marriage, look at her naturalization. I think that all needs to be investigated because there are significant irregularities, and I'm being nice with those terms, in her conduct in coming to this country. Along with the fraud of the food programs that have been going on in Minnesota. So all of this needs to be looked at. The people deserve justice, and our tax dollars need to be protected. And so I applaud the Department of Justice and Congress in going after these investigations.
Yeah, there's a lot of very strange things happening up there in Minnesota. Also, some good news to report today for President Trump's proposed White House ballroom. It turns out that $72 billion Senate reconciliation bill includes funding for security measures tied to the president's ballroom project. $1 billion has been earmarked for the Secret Service to make security upgrades linked primarily to that East Wing modernization and expansion. And in the wake of a third attempt on the president's life at the White House Correspondents' Dinner just 2 weekends ago, how crucial do you think this funding is to ensure the safety of not just this president, but future presidents?
Well, I'm very happy to see that funding in there because the White House ballroom needs that kind of security funding. It is crucial to the safety and security of the president. Think about it. 3 times folks have tried to assassinate this president. That is absolutely stunning. And we cannot allow that to happen. So giving the Secret Service $1 billion to ensure that there are proper security upgrades to the East Wing project, I think is vital. There is a provision in the bill itself that says that this $1 billion is not for regular construction, but it's for security upgrades. The Democrats have gone nuts over the security upgrades, but they just need to understand that this is for the preservation of the president and the cabinet, the vice president, our leaders in the United States. It's critical, and I would certainly support every solitary dollar of it.
Well, we've been watching for, over a year now, just Democrats against anything the president does, and certainly they've been against Trump's renovation plan from the get-go, but every president elected after Donald Trump will benefit from this bill. So break it down for me, Congressman. Why are Dems so against it?
Trump derangement syndrome, I think that's probably the best term I can use. Anything that the president is for, they're against. He's for saving this country, they're against this country. He's for kicking out illegal aliens, they're for keeping illegal aliens in. He's for giving tax breaks to folks, they're for increasing taxes. Everything that they can possibly do that is against what President Trump wants to accomplish, they're for President Trump's for America first, they're for American last. So it's typical for the Democrats. That's just the way they are, and that's why we need to keep the House, the Senate, and I'm so glad that President Trump's got the executive.
Congressman Andrew Clyde, appreciate your time and appreciate you being on the Leventhal Report. Thank you again.
Thank you. Great to be with you.